But that's his job. David Hunt, thanks for joining us here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, McGraw. How are you?
We're good. Tea leaves being read, stories being leaked over the weekend makes one believe that there's some type of momentum for a Chargers-Rams deal.
Yeah, there is some momentum for that. I don't know if it's enough momentum, but the reports I think filed yesterday say that Jones has a resolution there to put the Chargers and the Rams together. Now, remember, Jerry Jones is a friend of Stan Kroenke and not necessarily a friend of some other owners. So it doesn't, it's just another option, and another option is good for the NFL, good for the owners. The more options they have, as some have told me, the happier they are, and the more they think something will get done. To me, what it really says, McGraw, is that we're gonna get a vote this week.
Yeah.
Which is great in my book, and I'm ready for a vote.
How is this going to work? They're meeting today and tomorrow, is that right?
No, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then many times in these meetings, you already know the conclusion once they start. This might be a rare time where we don't know what happens until they come out of the room.
I agree with you, McGraw. I think that there's a lot of people who early on said that there's going to be some negotiated settlement. And that could still happen. In fact, NFL staff are going to Houston today to be available to owners if somebody wants to talk about a solution. So that could still happen. But as of this weekend, owners were still basically completely holding their cards close to their vest, with a few exceptions. And I think it was anybody's guess what was going to happen. I really expected a shootout in there. Unless something changes today, that's what I still expect.
We're also hearing that Spanos has more owners on his side, but still not enough to cross the threshold.
Yeah, but I'd be wary of that because that's only people that they know now. I mean, decisions are going to get made unless there's a big compromise today. Decisions will get, or tomorrow morning, decisions will get made in that final moment, I mean, there's going to be owners out there who aren't sure and listen to the last arguments and then decide.
It clearly, though, Jerry Jones is doing the speaking publicly for Stan Kroenke.
Well, it's an interesting, he has to, so he didn't do that without Kroenke's knowledge, that's for sure, which means Kroenke must be open to the idea. So, Kroenke wasn't particularly open to that idea before, and Spanos certainly wasn't. So if that becomes a real solution, that'll be fascinating.
Yeah. And then it almost seems like the argument is over which stadium proposal is better for the NFL.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of arguments. That one is high on a lot of owners' lists. But so are just the alliances that you craft in any body, right? So some people like Spanos better than they like Kroenke, and vice versa. And that's going to play a big part of this. And you and I have talked about this before. I think you brought it up. Somebody's going to negotiate for a Super Bowl or a Pro Bowl or something, right? Something's going to change. I guess Pro Bowls are always in Hawaii, aren't they? In any case, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when these meetings are going on, and as a member of the news media, are you guys huddled at the door with a glass up to the wall?
Oh, it's the silliest scene, McGraw. It really is. It's a gaggle of reporters, and this time it's going to be 80 gaggles of reporters, all, chasing owners down hallways, and they rope off a little section for us, and, there's like security guards who look like they're going to, something bad's going to happen if you get out of your little section, and it is quite the scene.
But if and when something happens in this room and they come out, will somebody read a statement?
I have no idea. This is my first rodeo on this one.
Yeah, so we're sort of in uncharted territory with all of this.
Yeah, I think we are. Even every one of these happens differently. Now, I wasn't around for the Cardinals leaving 20 years ago, but I have heard that was very different than this one will be. So nobody really knows exactly how this is going to play out. Like I'm kind of wondering, are we just going to learn the same way we've learned every other time, which is by grabbing owners as they're leaving?
Yeah. And the other thing that came out over the weekend is that it's official. The NFL does not like the work of the stadium task force and says this stadium isn't good enough, and therefore the Rams, if they want to, are allowed to leave.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happened. Roger Goodell, and I'll tell you, I'm surprised by this in one sense. The NFL's been saying this all along. They've been saying that the stadium isn't there, that it's not ready for prime time, so to speak, in their opinion. What I'm surprised by is that Roger Goodell put it in writing, made it the official, kind of view of the NFL.
Yeah.
So that I think was an interesting move on his part. But to me, and Dave Peacock, the task force of the stadium effort here, said this, and I think he's right. More than anything, what the NFL is trying to do is kind of even the playing field. They want everybody to vote on the project and the team they want to go. They don't want anything hanging on. I think Peacock feels that the NFL kind of orchestrated this so that the project wouldn't be, quote unquote viable.
Right. Yeah. No matter what they came up with, it was not going to be acceptable for the NFL.
Peacock hasn't said that in that many words, and if he's listening right now, please forgive me for putting words in your mouth. But that's essentially what he feels.
Yeah. David Hunn, travel safe, and we'll talk to you throughout the process.
Yeah, please.
David Hunn, STLtoday.com.